What's happening, people? Thanks as always for passing by the channel, much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Don't forget as well, please, to like and share the videos. Big thank you to everyone who's been doing that so far. You guys are heroes. I was actually intending to come on here to do a preview for the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight, which I was absolutely buzzing for. I was really excited, but it's obviously not happening anymore. But I thought I'd come in here and just give my 2 cents on what I think on the situation, because whilst I am absolutely devastated that the fight's not happening anymore, I do think it's the right decision, because boxing needs to clean up its act a bit. But when the fight was announced, I was just proper excited. Like, this is what I wanted. An all British. We love an all British fight here in the UK. Britain versus Britain. This was a generational fight. There was so much bad blood. There was so many kind of like underlying kind of rivalries and hatred. There was Nigel versus Chris back in the 90s and stuff like that. The dads are getting involved, and it was just such an exciting fight, such a fun, such a big event, and it's not happening anymore. But like I said, whilst it's really disappointing, it's the right choice. I do feel sorry for a lot of people. The fans who have paid for the tickets, the fans who have flown over to go and see it, and especially the fighters on the undercard are the ones who I think are going to suffer most, who are just going to be getting paid the kind of, 3-4 grand a fight. They're not going to get paid because they can't fight this weekend. I really do feel for them, because Ben failed the drug test with VADA, not UCAD, but still. What I really didn't like was when they were trying to find another broadcaster to try and get the fight to go ahead, because to me that's wrong. Boxing needs to clean up its act, because we have had far too many drug cheats in this sport as it is. We've had Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, Tyson Fury popped for something. Jarrell Miller was on basically every known drug that you could be on in terms of PEDs. The sport does need to clean its act, and let's not forget, this is a sport. I do boxing. We're not running in a straight line or swimming or jumping a hurdle. You're punching and trying to hurt another human being. So the detriment, the consequences of using PEDs are massive, absolute massive. So look, in my view, drug cheats should receive harsh bans, a bit like the Olympics. Because Jarrell Miller, for example, should have been banned for life after what he was doing. One time you receive maybe a year or 2 year ban, and if you fail twice, then to me it should be a lifetime ban. So I think absolutely the right choice. I think the size of the fight is still there. I think in a few months' time, maybe when some more testing has been done, I think the fight can still happen again. But there's going to have to be new training camps. There's going to have to be discussions. There's going to have to be all this kind of stuff going on to make sure that Ben is clean ultimately, because he's not clean. And I think that it's just not a good image. It's not a good look for the sport. Again, we've had this before. We've seen it, and I don't like how it's turned out, because it was such an exciting. I could not wait. I was planning on going into town and watching it with some of my mates. I'm not going to do that anymore. The football's going to be on, but still, boxing's number one for me. So my 2 cents is, it is disappointing, but it's the right decision. And although Ben might try to defend himself, and Nigel's come out and said that he thinks his son's still clean, at the end of the day, you got caught. Own up to it, right? And just try and make it right. That's the best thing that I think he can do. Just make it right. Stay away from those dodgy characters. Stay away from anything that might contaminate you. I know people who won't even take stuff like multivitamins or vitamin C tablets in camp, because that's like enough that's could potentially contaminate a substance. These tests are so strict, and they need to be, because of the dangers of drugs within boxing. So I'm glad it has been cancelled, because one example that I remember was Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas. Remember that, when he failed his A sample came back testing positive for something, and then his B sample just magically disappeared, and then he was allowed to fight because the event was that big, against Oscar Rivas. There's a good undercard on that as well. And then a few months later, I think it was VADA released a statement saying, "Oh, like it's fine. It's been cleared up between us and Dillian Whyte." That's what I thought was going to happen when even though the British Boxing Board of Control cancelled it, they were still going to try and make the fight happen, maybe by Luxembourg broadcasters or something like that. But no, disappointed that the fight's not happened, but absolutely the right decision, and one I will talk about if it's announced again. Hopefully it does come back soon, and yeah, I'll get back to filming in the next big fight in a few weeks' time. Peace.